Take a look at this guy. Did you see that? Did you see that player? Same. Look at that. She jumps backward. Like that. That is a counter. And I used the awakening immediately to get the 3 bubbles. And I gave him the damage buff. Courage. Serenity of Courage. And this is the first main mechanic of the Vykass Phase 3. It called Swamp mechanic. Except for two people, everyone will have white AoE. That white AoE will boost up your speed, but this brown AoE will slow down your speed. So that is why we make a bridge with these 2 AoE, brown AoE. After this, people gather around edge of the bridge. And if you go outside of this circle, then you will almost get killed because the damage outside is pretty hurt. So you don't want to go outside. Just stay inside of this circle, but put your white AoE outside of all the way away from this bridge, and make a bridge and put your character edge of this area. Then you cannot control your character, but your character automatically rush to the boss. So without this slow down buff, slow down bridge, your character will get killed by this attack of the boss. And this AoE under your feet means another dong, another poop, another shit in Phase 3. Phase 3, the poop effect is quite different. You see the gauge, right? The horny gauge. If you take your shit like this, that shit will fill up your gauge. After you complete your gauge, your character will turn into the enemy. So you cannot control your character after you complete your gauge, and your character will automatically attack our team, and our team can also attack your character. So you and your team will be in danger at the same time. And this mechanic, only some players with red gauge around this meter, then you can see different ones. You will not see the clones of the Vykass, but you will see some swords on the map. You gotta ping where the swords at. We can realize where is the safe zone. Only some place with the clone and the sword all at once, that is the safe zone. But usually Korean players already know where is the safe zone without knowing of the location of swords. You can recognize with the sound. When you're in the safe zone, you can hear the voice of the Vykass. When you're in safe zone, yeah, you can hear the voice, right? Something like that. The dong. Yeah, so only these might see the sword's location. This is another mechanic, minor mechanic. It's not a huge mechanic. She dances like that. Then she spins like that, and the spot she scratched on the ground, that is the safe zone. So after you see the Vykass dances, then you gotta walk away from her, and you see the line, right? She attacks like that, follows that. You gotta jump into that area. Except for this area, will get exploded. Boom, 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 like that. And around the 130 of the HP of the boss, she will go up. And with this yellow orb, if you activate this yellow orb, then you can open this yellow circle as well. On this circle, you can cleanse your gauge. Reason why we cleanse the gauge, our horny gauge, because of this typing mechanic. If you fill up some little bit more of the gauge around this white line, then the remaining time will go faster than this. It's not that difficult. Regular players will just get over this one. And no one failed that typing mechanic. So the Vykass got knocked down. So that is the whole good timing to do some big damage. So I use my identity gauge to give them some damage buff. Because when one guy or at least one guy failed, then look at this. This explosion happened. To protect your team, you gotta use your awakening or the Rhapsody type of skills, you know, reducing damage taking skills. After this, she goes up again and she will do the airstrike. And when she does the airstrike, we usually gather on one spot. Cause except for that one spot, the other place will get exploded. And after the first wave of the airstrike, you gotta check the line and move out from that area to dodge that explosion. And then you will see the red AoE. That means that it's the landing zone of the Vykass. Vykass went down, goes in, we go in, because the other area will get exploded as well. And this is the moment when anyone complete the typing mechanic, you can use your Ninave here. When we fail the typing mechanic, because usually have the shield. To kill out the shield, we use the Ninave. And reason why we gather on one spot with this shit, with this red AoE, to complete our Honey Gauge on purpose. Everyone turn into the enemy because of this aerial attack. She does the aerial attack. Every of the map will be the danger zone. Once you complete your gauge, you will not get any damage from this aerial attack. That is why we complete our gauge on purpose. After the mechanic, you will get some little damage, but you will be fine. And after that one, around the 100 bars, it's a stagger mechanic. Before you do the mechanic, we open the yellow orb to cleanse our gauge, because we have some gauge after that mechanic, right? Previous mechanic. And then she does something like this effect, and then you see the stagger gauge. Use your whirlwind bomb and use your stagger skills. After you complete the stagger, then you see there is the Todd and there is another Todd downside. Those two Todds will get exploded as well, and that explosion, it can one-shot the people. So that is the moment after you finish the stagger, you use your time stop, survive from this explosion. The dance time again. She dances, right? And then you see the danger zone. After that attack, you get in. Counter. The stagger mechanic around the 70 bars. The swamp, second swamp happens. Put your the white and brown AoEs are random. Game will pick random person to get the white or the brown AoE. So you better always get ready to put your AoE outside or to make a bridge. So we made a bridge. We don't get killed. When she swings her swords like that, and she jumps up, right? Then that means the behind of her is a safe zone. And she sometimes jump up again. That means the other side will be the next safe zone. And this is the around the 50 bars, the tentacle mechanic of. So as you can see on the map, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tentacles. So usually party 1 takes care of left side and party 2 takes care of right side of tentacle for each. How do you kill these tentacles? By filling your gauge up to this white bar. You see these guns here? If you take these red orbs, then you can fill up your gauge like this. But this gunslinger took too many of orb, so complete the gauge. She just turned into the enemy and she started to attacking me, right? And this is the moment, perfect example to use your sleep bomb. Put her in sleep. I will use this sleep bomb to her right now like this. Boom. And she goes into the sleep. But after you use the sleep bomb to your team, you gotta wake them up by auto attack them. So now she's going to the tentacle to break them. It seems like not many people got enough gauge. So we are having a problem with this one tentacle left. But then the other guy took the orb and killed the tentacle in last second. So we got over of this tentacle. Yeah, try to kill him. When you sleep them and wake them up, the horny gauge empties a bit. Yes, yes. Look at that guns here. You see? The gauge plans it a little bit. This is another one. She swings the swords forward 2 times, 3 times. And then she doesn't jump up this time, right? But she's trying to swing her sword to this side. If you see the boss doesn't jump up, then you gotta move another side to here. See? Look at her. She dances, spinning, and goes in. Landing zone. You go in, because outside will get exploded. And this is only for the hard mode. Normal mode, you will not see this. This orb, you gotta block this orb. After you touch that orb, take that orb, you gotta spam your spacebar to get off that AoE. Every four side, this orb will appear. Top right, top left, bottom right, bottom left. So 4 people with some game IQ must take that. You see the boss, right? Boss shooting that black waves. And for that mechanic, that is quite complicated for this mechanic. So she will open or not open the wings. So with the number of the wings, we can notice who need to look at her, who must not look at her. So if the Vykass open 1 wing only, then only 1 person must look at her. If she open 2 wings, 2 people must look at her. other guys look away from her, and she does that 2 times usually in that mechanic. How do you clear this mechanic? Usually on chaos server, party 1 taking a charge of this mechanic. So if the first Medusa mechanic, she opened 1 wing, then the number 1 member of the party 1 look at her, and the other guys look away from the Vykass. And second wave, if Vykass open both of the wings, then number 3 and 4 people in party 1 must look at her, so we can clear that. And this Medusa is only appears in hard mode. This one is the advanced Medusa, but in normal mode, then you will see the regular Medusa. Regular Medusa, just look away. If you see these black waves, just look away. She will not open or close the wings. Just look away. In normal mode, doesn't need to care about this, but in the hard mode, she will do advanced version of the Medusa. She will do the regular Medusa, both of them, if your damage not that enough. So she opened 2 wings, both of the wings, right? So two people look at her, then they will not get damage. But if you fail that, then she will do this wide AoE. There's no other way you can dodge that. So how do you clear if you fail? When you see the boss makes this big circle, that means she is summoning big fishes. Look at these big fishes. Only some people who fill up their gauge above that white line, they can see these fishes, but the other guys cannot see the fishes. So usually what we do in that mechanic, we usually just stay around here, around the downside of the edge of the map. You can dodge all of those fishes around here, just like the Valtan. You remember the Valtan? This is kind of shelter for that fish. So just stand on that part. If you don't have the gauge, then you cannot see the location of the whales and big fishes, right? So just stand in there, then you'll be fine. After all of those fishes gone, then you'll be safe. This is the signal of the counter. When you see her teleport like that, boing boing boing, that is the counter. And after you finish all those mechanic, when the Vykass got lower than 15 or the 20 bars, then you gotta cleanse your gauge again. Cleanse the gauge and continue the fight. And when the HP is gone, when she has only 1 HP, 0 bars, that is the final mechanic, Angry Booba mechanic. She goes up and there is stagger gauge only. And you can see the map, there's a true Vykass. The other side, there will be only the clones. You gotta look away in the middle and the black waves. That means the Medusa mechanic. When you see this, you gotta look away from the Vykass and you use the way for these real Vykass, cause 0 bars mechanic is the basically stagger mechanic. You gotta stagger the Vykass to finish or clear the phase. Way for the stagger, you can see that, right? Everyone use their whirlwind bomb to stagger the boss. You cannot do the damage, you can only stagger her.